But today we start something special. Special in a sense that starting today, hopefully once a month, we will be honoring one of the former directors of the UPLB Museum of Natural History. Actually, the third director is the late Dr. Victor de la Paz Gapud. And he was director of the museum until 1985. And he took his BSA sometime in the 1960s, starting as a soil science major. But soon, while examining soil samples, especially organic matter part of soils, he noticed jumping arthropods. And he became interested in what he later identified as collembola. So he pioneered in the study of Philippine springtails. Later on, during his MS, he shifted finally to entomology, taking his MS at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And then later on, proceeding to have a PhD in the study of bugs. Later on, becoming what we may call a polyhistor, which means ibig sabihin pag polyhistor, maraming inaano na grupo at mainly of insects. And he influenced many of us, including myself. He was my teacher in Bio 140, Bio 142, Bio 150. And so, and even our speaker for today, ay na-influensyahan din niya because siya na nagkukwento ng content. So, the first speaker for the VP Gapud lectures of the MNH Biodiversity Seminar Series is an alumnus of IBS. Muna niyang inaral ay mga halaman, but soon he realized mas interesting ang mga insect. And so, for his MS, he studied one family of insects belonging to the order Diptera, the family Sepsidae. And so, without much ado, let us welcome Mr. Socrates Letana.
It's an honor to be invited. Actually, nung invite ako ni Sir Jun, I couldn't refuse because una, si Sir Jun nag-invite na nag-invite, and pangalawa, it's an honor for Dr. Gapud. Kaya na sinabi ni Sir Jun, he's been a big influence to me personally. He introduced me on the group of Diptera. That's why hopefully my goal here is to inspire you, give you insights. I understand na lahat kayo ay sa klase ni Sir Jun.
Bio 140.
Bio 140, yeah. And hopefully you can get some ideas or thoughts or questions later on kung gusto niyo pursue whether sa medicine, application ng Diptera, and later on if you want to pursue research, do research, basic or even applied research on Diptera. So Sir Gapud influence sa akin, and actually introduced niya ako sa group ng Sophidae. These are flower flies, hover flies. They're beautiful flies actually, and doon ako na-in-love sa Diptera. And so, okay, for now I'm going to talk about it's actually a huge task. It's a huge topic on the diversity of flies in the Philippines. First, it's very challenging because even though may mga pioneering works like Dr. Claire Baltasar, my intention here is to really collate the information of what we have. Dr. Claire Baltasar, in her Inventory of Philippine Insects, doon siya nagsimula. It's a very, very, very good work on how to start with the diversity of flies. So, my goal is to introduce you about flies. Ano ba yung Diptera? Ano ba yung misconceptions about flies? Ano ba yung pwede nyo makita about the flies? And how you can easily distinguish flies from other arthropods or insects. And how diverse are this group? And how important, ano yung roles nila, not only sa ecosystem, pati impacts nila. And then, I'm going to give you a snapshot of the endemic. I'm just going to focus on endemic because ang dami nating hindi pa rin alam. Actually, what I can confidently say is that we know so much, little we know about the flies here in the Philippines, especially sa Oriental, lalo na ang Pilipinas. And then I'm going to share some experiences I had visiting some museums, particularly in North America and in Denmark. And then I'm going to share also the challenges I came across while doing some my independent research, and then try to summarize and give you some suggestions on if gusto sana bigyan din enough time for have a question and answer. So if you feel that masyadong mabilis, just let me know. Just slow me down. Okay. So Diptera, these are true flies. Diptera, the prefix DI meaning two-winged insects. Polymetabolous, meaning they have a complete metamorphosis. So from egg, larva, pupa, adult, magkaibang itsura niyan. They have two functional forewings. Kung makikita nyo, they are good mimics even for other insects. So they have functional forewings, and then they have halteres. The hind wings are parang knob shape. So sa Jollibee is not a bee, it's actually, you can qualify as a fly, right? And then hauselate mouth part, they have either piercing mouth part or sponge type na mouth part. Okay? And then, ano yung roles na ginagawa nila sa ecosystem? Most of them, I can arguably say that they are the most ecologically diverse insect order. Meaning they occupy, they're ubiquitous, you can find them almost in any type of habitat. From even dry desert area, aquatic, semi-aquatic, and high elevations. Almost all types of habitats. So they are predators, parasitoids, parasites. Popularly, flies are decomposers, so mga house flies. Plant and they're vegetarians as well, pollinators, and then most of them are especially the mosquitoes, popular for being vectors of diseases. Pero hindi lang mosquitoes, marami rin ito. So I'll try to show them to you. Okay, Philippine Diptera, there are about 734 genera with 2,861 species. That's in 1990. Now, in 2018 na ngayon, a lot has changed and madami nang dagdag dyan. So we don't know the actual count. Okay, the global so far latest count nila Thomas Pate. These are so far the leading dipterists, and his peers. They counted about 152,715 species. So it's about 10% of all the described species. So 10% non-flies na described na living organisms. Okay, and then the length, the size varies a lot. So we have 0.5 millimeter to 60 millimeters. Very malaki. And we have, I was surprised to see a specimen of a Midas fly, one of the large flies in the world. So, makikita niyo mamaya. So these are example photos of predatory flies, decomposers, and then the vectors, the mosquitoes. Okay. Okay. So, quick search on the publications of endemic Philippine species ng flies. So, from 1909 hanggang 2011, nag-search ako ng mga publications on any endemic flies. So far, you can see there's two peaks here. So, karamihan ng published here are foreigners. Few are locals. From 1930 to 2011, there are only about 23 local researchers, Filipino, or with Filipino names. Filipinos. And konti lang meron diyang sole author, o sole authorship. Karamihan dyan may mga co-author sila ng mga foreigners, mostly North Americans and Europeans. So you can see the peak, kasi during this time yung World War II, pero still, marami pa rin publication dyan. During this time, pre-World War, very active niyan, especially UP Los Baños, yung mga entomologists dito. Maraming bumisita ng mga Americans. C.P. Alexander is one of the great na-describe na maraming species from here. Basically, din-describe na yung mga crane flies na describe niya based on wings alone. Hindi ko nakita yung specimens, pero nakita ko yung publications niya based on wings alone. Okay, now I'm going to, just to have, bear this in mind that I'm going to use, just using this reference, 16 biogeographic regions ng Philippines. Are you familiar with this? Not yet? Okay. You have the Greater Luzon, the Mindoro, Palawan, and then Visayas. You know your geography? Okay. Sibuyan Island is also is a high endemic area. Biliran, somewhere here. The Greater Mindanao and Sulu, Tawi-Tawi. Those are, I won't go into detail, pero meron tayong 16 biogeographic regions based on flora and fauna, main on vertebrates na ginawa nila. So, basing on this 16 biogeographic regions, try to picture yung papakita kong distribution patterns ng flies, Philippine endemic flies. Okay? And side by side with the remaining forest na meron. Pero I think baka nagbago na itong ngayon. Just to have the mental picture, just keep this in mind because I'll flash some distribution patterns of endemic flies. Okay, and I understand most of this are Bio 140. So pinattern ko yung format in the merong recent publication on fly periodic table. So ito yung parang groupings ng flies based on their phylogeny on morphology and molecules. Basically, consensus tree na to, large data ang ginamit nila. This is, well, pinagtatalunan nila, controversial pa ito, pero so far, it's a good reference point. Okay, so may group tayo ng mga, basically, traditionally, the flies are divided into two. Yung mga mukhang mosquitoes, midges, they're called nematosaurus, pero ngayon tinawag na lang yung lower Diptera. And then the brachycerans, ito yung mga mukhang at least magkahawig sa mga houseflies. Yan yan, group na yan. Okay? Okay? So ito yung Pipilomorpha, yung mga crane flies. Itong mga numbers na to, these are the endemic species na meron tayo. Dumonide, pinakamarami, 196. And we don't know what they look like actually. We just have the list, descriptions. Ito yung sinabi ko based on wings. Pipulid, these are the crane flies. Dati magkasama to pero sineparate na yung subfamilies na they raised to family level. Okay? So, in this genus, we only have two endemic species in this family. Mount Makiling and Mount Apo. That's about it. Sabihin, ang daming space pa na hindi napapag-aralan kung may endemic species on this family. Excited na kayo? Ang daming pwedeng gawin, ha? From Batangas, even Tawi-Tawi or Bulo, wala pang endemic species na discovered. That we have 16 biogeographic regions. Let's say, at least one endemic species for each biogeographic region. So, meron pa tayong 14 na possibly merong endemic species din, okay? Now, in this group, ito yung mga nakita nyo sa CR. Sa sink, mukhang moth, they are flies. Tinatawag silang moth flies. Yan, mabuhok, yan. And then, these are usually found in clean running waters. These are actually good indicators of clean waters. Marami sa waterfalls, makikita niyan. Sure lang nag-aaral niyan dito. Okay, see that psychology? These are moth flies, 98 endemic species. I don't even know what they look like over there. Hindi ko pa nakita yung tsura niya. Pero we have listed at least 98 endemic species. Ang dami. So the demand for being a dipterist is very high actually. So I encourage you to be a dipterist. Pagkakalan niyo mga flies, marami yan. And even psychology, they are reported in the neotropics to be vectors of some worms and even some protozoans. Pinag-aaralan yung psychology. Dito sa Pilipinas, wala. Merong nag-publish lang, pero yung biology wala pa talaga. They just made a list. Ano yung species? Ano yung hypothesis nila about the species of the moth flies. Ito yung sinasabi ko yung mga Blephaserids. Okay? We have few species on these two genera, mainly concentrated in Palawan and in Davao. That's about it. You can see the gap, it's very huge. Right? Ito yung mga mosquitoes, midges, and gnats. Kung kinakakit yan ng niknik, ng mosquito, yung mga, na-try nyo na maligo sa ilog, pag-ahoy nyo tapos may mga kumakagat sa inyo, o kaya nasa beach kayo, or nakapunta lang kayo Amanpulo, naging problema doon yung niknik before. Pero I'm not sure kung anong nangyari dito sa pag. So these are the group of those flies, okay? I thought these are Socrates, mosquitoes, and then this is leaves. Okay. Manila actually. Manila yan. Sa Manila na. The only described endemic of Cauborus is only from type specimen from Manila. That's about it. See that? What? Walang araw. Ito wala nung rekta. Apparently, wala. Wala tayong record ng endemic species. Okay? Chironomids. These are ginagamit to. Some species or most of the species they can thrive in anoxic condition. It's in very low on oxygen. So they have actually analog to hemoglobin. Kaya kulay-pula sila, bloodworms na nagtawag ng mga fishermen kung kulay ko sila. They have hemoglobin, so they can thrive in very low oxygen. So far, we have in Mount Makiling, near Laguna Lake, Manila, and then I guess this is in Kalinga. Kalinga yan. So yun lang. I think most of the endemic species na described are coming from Mount Makiling. Dito, in our playground, dito mismo. Marami pang hindi na describe yun, even in Mount Makiling. Okay, Bibionomorpha, ito yung mga march flies, fungus flies, Caroplatids, mamaya mapakita yun sa Caroplatids. I'm just going to show some representative families. Caroplatids, these are the glowworms na kita niyo sa Australia, glowworms. Sa cave, pag tumingin sa ceiling, hindi pa nakita pero nakita niyo lang yun. Ito yung family nila, Caroplatids. We only have one endemic species. I'm not sure that actually museum went to a cave field work, so hopefully may nakita sila. So we only have, and I saw these are composer fly to, pero dito lang to sa Benguet area pa rin. Okay. I can't remember the actual, pero it's in Benguet. One species lang, high elevation. Ito yung sinasabi ko ang Caroplati. I don't even have a representative photo of this genus. Caroplati, this is from Balbalasang in Kalinga. So, isa lang. I think we have so many caves, I'm not sure how many, pero if we have so many caves, how come we only have one of this? There must be more endemic species of this fly, glowworm. Sayarids, see? Very low ang number. Very low number. Nakapansin niyo yung concentration usually here in Makiling, Palawan. Mamaya makikita nyo. Ito yung iba. Okay. And the acrocerids, ito, cute niya, no? Chubby. The acrocerids are the spider-killing flies. Yeah, they hunt for spiders, they lay the eggs there, their babies grow inside the spiders and then eat the spiders. From the inside out. Okay? Acrocerids yun. And then we have this one, Nasindi. It's an interesting organism. The owl story here. Okay. Ito yung Acocerid. Okay. This is Hilaromorphidae. Okay. This one is the Opcodes philippinensis from Sibuyan Island. Sibuyan Island here. Okay. Sibuyan Island. Isa lang yan. It's deposited in U.S. National Museum. So we only have 5 endemic species of Acrocerids in 2 genera, distributed somewhere in Isabela. I think this is in, I can't remember the actual place. This one is in Siargao and Panay. Hindi ko na alam yung number ng species of spiders we have here, but this would be an interesting topic. Post-parasite relationship.
Around 500.
See, if there are 500, let's say half, being conservative. Now this one, the single species of this Nemesinidae, yung larva nito, they feed on beetles. I don't know what species, but they feed on beetles. The only specimen was deposited in Bureau of Science then. The only specimen was destroyed during World War II, and we don't have the types anymore. Wala na. So there's one description, but the description is not really giving enough picture of what they look like. This is the same genus, but I doubt could be close, but we don't know what they look like. In Lake Lanao. Lake Lanao, so I think that. Or Lanao, somewhere in Lanao. Doon lang to na kolekta. Okay. Now this one, the assassin flies, bees, geekily flies, and then the mylids. There's a question mark here whether it's a single species or not. This is being revised by the Dipteris in Smithsonian, actually. And then I'm going to show you some derivatives, flies. Ito yun. These are the photos I took sa specimen sa US National Museum. Ito yung distribution nila. Somewhere in Cagayan, in Los Baños, here in Makiling, we have here. In Biliran Island, and then in Apo. The question is, are this different or one? We don't know. We have to check the specimen. That's why it's important to have a reference collection. Halaga yun. We have to go back. It's tempting to say, magkaiba yan. But do we have enough evidence? The proof to support that. Okay? Actually, this genus is only distributed in Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia lang yan. Okay? Ito yung sinasabi ko, one of the biggest flies. Ito yung scale bar dito, this is about 5 millimeters yan. Yung scale bar, nakita niya. So imagine the size about 20 or more na length ng flies na yan. Okay? The therivids, one, the Irwiniela lateralis is the first described species sa Pilipinas, endemic. And it's from Manila. But I found a specimen actually from Polillo. Merong Polillo. It's stored in Copenhagen, yung lateralis. Merong record sa Polillo. So, yung distribution niyan could be all throughout in Luzon. Could be. But we don't know yet. We can only assume based on sparse records. Okay. These are predatory flies. Radiology, we have 11 endemic species. See? Then we have a Leyte, in Surigao, Palawan, and then I guess this one is in Cavite and then Los Baños. Soldier flies. Soldier flies? Solva? Hindi ko na-isama dito, but yung isang genus na nag-aaralan namin, Hermetia, we have 3 species. Isa yung endemic sa atin, and only 3 localities. Sorry, 2. Negros and Panay. Yun lang. Yun lang. Yeah. Luzonensis, it's from Atimonan, Quezon. Atimonan, Quezon. Only species. Ito natin alam. Nade-depress na ba kayo sa content? This is super family ito. Ito ba hindi are the horseflies? Ito yung pinakaw namin endemic. Most of the specimens, kung gusto nyo pag-aralan ng horseflies, kung mayroon kayong makikita na vet, I think they're very important na group or sa wildlife. Best ito sa mga, actually nuisance sa mga wildlife mammals. Blood feeders to. Most of the specimens of Philippine Tapanis are in Field Museum in Chicago. Most of them are collection. And US National Museum. Okay? So this, Atericidae, these are predators sa aquatic streams and rivers. So ayan, pati lang. Even though we have here, kasi dalawa yung endemic species sa Los Baños. Cynopagids, these are also, the larva is predatory. Okay, 4 species, yan na, distribution pattern. Sana na-excite kayo dun sa gap na dami pag-aaralan. Okay? Empidoid, these are also predatory flies. Okay? Dance flies, these are the Arthropods, are very beautiful flies. Dance flies, we only have 2. Endemic. Compared again with 16 biogeographic regions, very low. Platypesids, phorids, I encountered this, when I tried to count them, napagod ako kasi na-check the list. 50 of that, at least 50, approximately 50 species of the phorids are only from Mount Apo. Half of it. Mount Apo pa lang. Mount Apo pa lang yun. Okay?
Oh my God.
Pedunculids, these are parasitoids ng mga leaf hoppers, mga Diptera. So, medyo, well, okay, medyo distributed sila ng konti. Pero see the gap here, see the gap there, Satanes. Ano pa lang to hindi pa natin pinag-usapan dito yung elevational distribution. Wala pa yun. Wala pa yun dyan. Platypesids, these are flat-footed flies. Tinawag na flat-footed kasi yung hind legs nila are, yung tarsi ay yung very flat. Kaya flat-footed din. Only one. Guess where? UPLB. Okay, UPLB. Conopids, these are parasitoids of bees. Yung mimics, kaya minimimik din nila yan. We only have 8 endemic species. Ito yung distribution ng species. Some are in Leyte, Surigao, Panay, Los Baños, and then in Benguet. That's all. Lang yan. Canacids, Arthropods, these are very small flies. Actually, problema to if you want to pursue systematics to resolve the relationship of acalitrates. These flies are very good study models. Canacids are only found in beaches. Okay. Beach bodies. Okay. 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 Liquid flies, they are kleptoparasitic. Makikita niyo yan pag meron kayong nakitang gagamba, may kinakain siya, makikita may duwag akong malaman doon. Sila yun. Nakikishare sila, nakikiagaw sila ng pagkain ng spiders. Kleptoparasitic. Okay? So we only have 3 endemic. Okay? If I read Drosophilids or genetics, Cryptocetids, these are predators of, they feed on hemipteran pests, also hemipteran pests. Protenotids are, interesting yung shape, morphology niyan, pero hindi pa naintindihan kung bakit ganyan yung shape. We can offer position, but we don't really understand the biology. Okay? For ephedrids, we only, ito yung pinakamarami, for the rest are 1. Tig-isa lang yan. Ito yung distribution niya. Again, you can see again the gap. Ulit-ulit ako sa gap, no? Philippids, ito yung isa sa mga gusto ko. They look like beetles, but they're actually flies. Okay? Philippids, ito. Camimaids, they feed on aphids. Flies din. So, they're also candidates for biocontrol. Okay? Yung Camimide, isa lang. UPLB na naman. Biggest threat. Okay? Arthropods, these are leaf mining flies. So kung may nakita kayong dahon na may parang snake shape na light green, hindi lang naman Arthropods yun, pero ito yung pattern nila kasi may mga lepidoptera. Pero we have that. Okay, Arthropods, these are decomposers na pahatos. Okay? So ito yung leaf mining flies. Still, nari pa. Okay? Siamicids, hindi na pinakita yung ano dito kasi we have a snail killing fly. Naghahat sila ng snails. Pero we have a species record here. It's described from Philippines. Tapos in-introduce sa Hawaii. So na-establish na rin yun doon. So, well, it's originated from the Philippines. And in Sapsid, we only have 1 endemic. It's a Toxopoda. Spherocerids, these are decomposers. Sa North America, ginagamit din sila for forensic science. Marami to. These are very tricky flies na pag-aralan. Hirap silang pag-aralan, very challenging. Not impossible, but challenging. Kasi ang dami din nila. Okay. Yung distribution pattern sila, lalo na sa mga microhabitats na tinatawag, very specific sila, lalo na sa mga temperate countries. Yun yung at least na pag-aralan. Yung story na actually kinuwento ko sa isang Canadian entomologist na ano siya, binigyan siya ng specimen na Spherocerid. Identify niya para ma-establish kung nasaan yung saan ba originally nakagaling yung body. So nalaman niya. Yan. So we have in Mindoro, Manila, and Los Baños. Karamihan yan, Los Baños to. Okay. This fly, this is the, actually these are the, found only, this family of flies are found in the Oriental region. Oriental region lang to. We have, meron tayong isa, and then itong gobriid na, may kasama ko dating entomologist back in 2011 na nalekta here. May nakita siya nito, pero hindi pa recorded sa atin. Sabi niya, di-describe niya, pero for now hindi pa rin pa-publish. Pero we have recorded this. So, marami pang tayong kailangan i-update. Diopsids, the stalk eye flies. Pag pumunta kayong sa may flat tracks, may marami makikita niyan sa mga ano lang. Magkahiwala yung mata. So yan. Anyos. Konti pa rin. The only person I know studying this is from Netherlands. Siya lang. Nag-publish siya recently, I think 2 years ago. Recent na yun. 2 years ago na about diopsids. Okay. Ito yung motivates only from Nano area. Nag-iisa lang yan. Okay? Now ito, magugulat kayo mamaya dito sa Tephridids. Okay. Trigotids, these are parasitoids of beetles. So we only have 4. Ang gusto lang nilang kainin talaga beetles. I mean, they eggs are beetles, parasitoids of beetles. Okay. Now, these are the tropical fruit flies. Ang dami, no?
Wala na yan. Okay na po yan.
Actually, no. Even though maraming distribution na, kasi they are serious pests for a lot of crops and fruits. They're actually serious pests. Ito yung mga pinag-aaralan namin in our lab back in Sacramento. I was in church. Kasama ko doon sa Asia and Africa. Wala pa silang enough study at least on the Southeast Asia. Meron na sila sa Indochina and Thailand, pero when it comes to Indonesia, Borneo meron na, pero the rest kulang sila. Pero ito, magandang pag-aralan to on the phylogeographic patterns. Kasi we have high endemic tropical fruit flies. Now, the distribution patterns sa islands and then endemicity, magandang pag-aralan. Get a sequence of that. It's a good topic. And then it can also apply for pest management. Kasi problema ng Philippines is how do you control or quarantine, especially for islands. Siguro it can give an idea, probably, of paano ba yung extent ng population ng endemic species. How wide or how narrow. Exclusive lang ba sila yung host sa mga plants yung host nila. So this is a good actually study group if you're interested in that. Flies. Some study. These are ectoparasites. They have wings, some of them, most of them they don't use their wings. So there are parasites ng birds, bats. Okay, karamihan sa mga birds and bats. Sometimes in other mammals, but ito yung distribution na nila. Wala akong masyado sa Northern Luzon, in middle part of Mindanao. I'm sure meron siguro sa Panay kasi kung migratory naman yung mga bats, so We don't know actually population studies on that, wala pa rin tayo. But so far, yan yung type, this locality. Basta sila na-describe. Flies. Musids are, pag nakita ko sila na nalulungkot ako kasi ang hirap, ang laking itong grouping ko eh. Ang hirap nito ang pag-aralan. Very hard because mahirap hanapin yung type specimens sila. They're very, very big. Very diverse din ang feeding strategies nila. Kala nyo decomposers lang sila, no? They are plant feeders and even predators. Dami dyan. Especially this is a predatory fly. Predatory fly. So again, the gap, and then the robust flies, ito yung malalaki. Flash flies, these are parasitic flies. Rhinoporids, recently meron tayong na-describe lang dito, but it's not endemic. There are, well, we have an information on we have this family in the Philippines. There are parasites of, we assume that they are parasites of millipedes. Millipedes. Oh, yun ang hinahanap nila, dun sila ang bilhin ng eggs. And the Rhyniid before, magkasama dati sila ng Califorids, hiniwalay niya. Actually, ang Califorids, if you're going to study this, baka mahati pa yung separate families. Paraphyletic pa yung grouping na Califorids. So, ito yung sa Califorids so far. Most of this are materials we benefited from the Nunadan expedition during the 1960s. Na lahat ng, actually kung gusto nyo yung pag-aral, maganda nga ang pag-aralan lahat sana yun. Because they collected, yung Nunadan sa Denmark, they deposited, nangolekta sila sa southern part ng Palawan, in Tawi-Tawi and Holo, and even hanggang sa Buanga. So itong part na to, it's very inaccessible right now, hindi na pag-aralan na to. But they have collections, not only in insects but also in vertebrates. So siguro we can get records from them and then compare it later on. But at least we have some knowledge on that part of the Philippines. Okay. Rhynids, again, there is this junk and sparsium, endemic species. Flesh flies, they're not, well, if you want to collect flesh flies, yung ginagamit nila yung hasang ng muda para molekta. Pero meron din kasi mga iba dito na parasitic sa kuliglig. Pinapanggan nila, meron silang pinapanggan yung kuliglig na hanap nila para hunt yung mga kuliglig. And even some Orthoptera's. So, this is a very big group of flies, but very interesting in biology. Very interesting in biology. So, kung pag-aralan niyo yung ganyan, paano nag-shift yung characters, especially on the diet nila. Okay? Okay, sorry. Ito, these are examples of some photos shared to me by a Canadian friend, yung mga Philippine species ng flies. Okay, these are all flies. Okay, ito yung sinasabi ko sa, so if you want to study in sa Nunadan, they have the collection. Very accommodating naman sila, but hindi na ganun kadali rin. We have to schedule ahead of time para pag-aralan. And magkasus pumunta siya doon. Pero you can actually request some photos, but it will take some time. Kung gusto niyo. Very, so I took some photos, meron ako ilang photos nito. Ang plan ko rin is later on maging available kung online para at least malaman natin. I have some photos of the flies of from the Nunadan expedition. Right now, ginagawa nila digitizing. These are the holotypes from the Philippines. This is the curator, Dr. Person Digo, and the postdoctoral researcher. So, actually, the full room, actually, isang floor, puro flies lang. The Baker collection is a very important collection in the Philippines, are housed here. Okay. California, I visited some of these specimens. Ang dami pa, sobrang nung na-overwhelm lang ako. Sa California Academy of Sciences, we have some collections, especially sa Amar and Leyte. And Bohart is actually a entomologist na retired army siya na nung pinag-aralan niya ang Samar and Leyte. Marami siyang collection from there. So, nakita ko yung ibang specimens dito. So, if you're interested in the Visayan region, I think Cal Academy is a good place to start with. And then here, I'm affiliated with the California State Collection of Arthropods. they don't have Philippine collection much, konti lang ito. But ang advantage dito is that of the 10 entomologists, senior scientists ng lab niya, 5 of which are Dipterists. Half of it are Dipterists. So pinag-aaralan nila and then I take photos of the materials. And all of this are very open and willing to collaborate. But konti lang interested sa Oriental region. Most of them are working on Neotropics and Nearctics. Okay, challenges. Ito, I just made a quick list. Permits and collection, ang hirap palagi. It's always a challenge to get permit to get samples. But if you, pag merong block, never mind, go ahead next. Ano, kasi don't let it bother you. Go to the next site na gusto pag-aralan. Kasi you can, don't waste time ranting. And then we have to review again. Again, nasa first level pa lang tayo ng taxonomy actually. We're trying to make keys and taxonomy. Wala pa tayo sa revisionary. Wala pa tayo ginagawa. Then we really need to have a reference collection. I think UPLB Baños, UPLB Museum of Natural History so far is the good collection we have here. Pero we have to develop and improve most of our collections, reference collections. Okay. And then make local and international collaborations. Most of the people, especially from the Diptera and Diptera, they're very okay with collaborations. So ako, I'm trying to link people, those who are interested in flies as much as I can, to study flies and then link them up with some of the people I know to help out in studying the group of flies. So basically, I was able to do some of the independent research I did from the Diptera Research Fund. The curator in Denmark, Dr. Ito in the US National Museum. He's Martin Hauser is the head Dipterist in the CDFA, and then Chris Winter is the collection manager, and Michelle is the curator for the Diptera. So sila yung somehow tumulong sa akin, gathering some information of the Philippine endemic flies. Okay, so I think that's it. Kung may question kayo, I'm very happy to answer. Okay.